Hello YouTube, this is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing the first episode of the Netflix One Piece live action series. Definitely have some thoughts on it for sure, but this is Akainu Fanboy, the other guy is Geboss, and
Yo.
please like and subscribe if you have not. So, to just kind of lead off, I'd say overall, I'm only 3 episodes deep right now. You've watched the whole thing, but
I have.
I'm just going to say that I've been really pleasantly surprised with it, and I'm really looking forward to watch the rest of it. Doesn't really come off as too cheesy, in terms of live action, and I think sometimes it gives me even more of a greater appreciation for some of the characters in the One Piece series. But what were your thoughts?
So just going over, we're going to be talking about these first 2 episodes. I think that they do a really good job condensing and reorganizing some of the plot points in it. Like in this episode, we get to see Nami and Zoro more involved in the Shellstown arc compared to what they were in the manga. And we got to see kind of what they were doing before they met up with Luffy, which was good. But
Yes.
But I mean, overall, my thoughts on the series are very positive. It's not without its flaws, but that's for later episodes. But I think that these first 2 episodes are very well, is a very good introduction to the series, even for those who haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a great point, and so I think we should begin basically with talking about the Logtown scene. I would say I had one minor critique with that, and I think that's going to be, I kind of wish it was a little bit more solemn, feeling. It didn't really feel as solemn, it was a little bit some pep into it and everything, because I think when the anime tends to review it, there are peppy moments, don't get me wrong, in some of the early episodes, but I think later on, especially where you see Shanks crying and you have kind of a little bit of Gregorian chant where a lot of it's talked about too during the Marineford arc, and I kind of wanted more of that feeling, because it was just a big monumental moment. But I did think it was kind of interesting to see that they showed the death too,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an interesting artistic take, but I don't know, what were your thoughts on the execution, Roger?
So I thought that it was really well done. We got to see a couple cameos with Mihawk, and I think we saw a little bit of Dragon and Young Smoker in there.
No Moria.
He was there. You just didn't see him.
But okay, but I mean, come on. You need to have your priorities with doing live actions, dude.
Yeah. But I actually liked the part where Garp was there for the execution, and we see him being with Roger for his final moments. I thought that was a nice touch, and we even got to see their weird sort of friendship that they have. Up there, Garp almost seemed a little bit not disturbed by it, but it's come on, guy, I gave you so many chances to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. So I thought it was good. I kind of wish they could have done a couple more cameos, maybe seeing a Doflamingo or a Moria there, But I understand what kind of where they're at. They don't want to do all the casting design way too early and all that stuff too.
Yeah. I think that they put Mihawk in there because they already had him cast, and I think that was a different actor for Shanks. It looked it looked younger.
Yeah, no, totally.
But you brought up the violence, you see him getting stabbed. I mean, you don't see the swords go into him, but you see him die, and I noticed in the first, especially like in this first episode, it's a lot violenter than the actual anime and manga in terms of like people dying.
Yeah. Or people dying, period.
Yeah. I mean, there's implied death, but yeah. But speaking of people dying, unless you have more to talk about Logtown, what about?
No, that's good. Yeah, I think that's a good segue.
So, what about the Alvida scene?
Yeah, Alvida. Yeah, the violence, like I said, I thought that was pretty good, and it's good to kind of show more ruthlessness. And I thought, this live action was better with showing the ruthlessness of pirates. I'd say you get it later on, like kind of when you get to more like the Rob Lucci, Doflamingo types. It's a lot more ruthless, right, in the manga. But for East Blue, you never got that vibe at all. Everybody was pretty comical. But I think like with Buggy and Alvida, the menacing, if they felt a lot more menacing, which was good. So, I did kind of wish Alvida was a bit fatter, but that's just kind of more my preference with it. I know that's a weird gripe.
I'm sorry that Alvida's not up to your standards of beauty.
Hey, we need more fatness in the show, but also just even a funny line with that was a funny line though with Luffy with Alvida thinking that it was a sea beast,
Oh yeah.
And I actually thought that was a good little moment of comedy right there and everything. But I thought the actor they did for Kobe, at least so far where I'm at with 3 episodes and his performance in the first 2 episodes what we're reviewing, I thought Kobe was a phenomenal pick for it, the actor.
Yeah. I think just based on what I've seen throughout the whole series, there's only one person who I think was completely miscast. I think everyone fit their job really well.
Gotcha.
But yeah, what do you think of Luffy? Like Luffy's portrayal so far?
Like, if I were to say anything negative, it's just like there's nothing negative that he's doing. Like I think he's a good pick, right? There's nothing negative that he's like doing per se. I think it's more like you kind of don't have, you're deficient with just being more like Luffy, which really isn't even like a negative. You know what I mean? It's just like he's not doing anything wrong. Like, and I think he's actually playing the role really well. I'm just saying, like, just some people just don't have that character quality to just be like Luffy, right? Because he's just so unique in a way. But I still think he's doing a good job. So I don't want to make that come off as a criticism or anything, It's just like it's so hard to be like him, But I think he still has that cheerful fighter, and that goofiness that kind of comes around with him.
Yeah, I like his casting. I think he's very strong with capturing Luffy's essence. I was kind of concerned in the trailer that it was getting like too quippy, like Marvel tier humor in there, but I think it's not like overbearing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I would say kind of the Alvida fight was like average though, between Luffy and her. Like I thought it was fine. It didn't look too goofy, but I mean, it was kind of like the first fight of the series and everything too. But I thought it was passable. I thought the other fights that I've watched so far were preferable though, compared to that one, But I thought it was fine. What did you think of that fight?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Alvida in the series wasn't much of a fight.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my favorite part of the whole Alvida thing was the aftermath of it. When they were in the rowboat and her ship just explodes in the background. That was one of my favorite little bits of comedy in the whole series.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. And one thing with her and I do like how they incorporate the bounty posters more, like showing how much they are and the special effects and everything. That's one thing I really did enjoy a lot with the series, what they did, you know?
Yeah, rather than like just like expositioning, like, oh no, they have a bounty that's worth 15 million or whatever. They just show it to you on the special effect poster.
Yeah, and they kind of do it in the manga with especially the East Blue villains is more post hoc. You know, they do it after the fact and everything. You know, so I liked how they did that more with this. So what do you think about our boy Mr. Seven?
So I like that they're sowing the seeds of Baroque works early. Because even in when Garp is reintroduced into the story, it's like he's been going after Baroque works himself, investigating it.
Yeah.
And we knew kind of that that Zoro had been approached before, but I thought the fight was cool. I don't know. The only criticism I have about the fights is that a lot of I feel like the physics aren't there.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of floaty in terms of like people kind of going all over the place.
Yeah.
But the end of the fight shocked me. Like, Mr. Seven just literally gets split in half.
Yeah, no, that was actually it was a nice surprise and unexpected, and I did appreciate it a lot. But I do agree, like, the setup more is good, and I think that's one critique I think you can actually level a little bit more with the initial East Blue saga in the manga, is that that Oda doesn't really like setting up as much as he has been prone to do in the past with the other arcs, with setting up for other arcs, you know? It feels too isolated, I think, with the East Blue saga and everything, you know, but so you thought of that. I mean, so I did enjoy the Baroque works set up more, and the Marines and things like that as well. So no, that was very cool. Also, and I think spacing out of the episode with the flashbacks was like very well incorporated too, with Shanks and everything.
Yeah. But going back to the Zoro thing really quick, he's never beating the allegations. Literally,
never.
His first scene is cutting a black guy in half.
It's terrible. This is a dangerous time in the One Piece, you know, community. You know, this is like, terrible. We need to have a greater national discussion on this topic, you know. But so going forward with that. So when it came to it was a cool little nice Easter egg to have Big Sake playing in the background with Shanks' crew. That was a cool little detail. There was a lot of really cool moments of attention to detail, you know?
Yeah.
In the show, and I appreciate it. There was like a lot of love put into this, and also so kind of moving on when we're getting into Axe-Hand Morgan and all this, I thought Helmeppo's actor was terrific casting. So he was great.
Really quick, before we do that, I just wanted to talk about Luffy's flashback for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I said before that one character I thought was not cast right at all was Beckman. He looks like a he looks like an extra at a Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry to the actor, but he does not pull off the Ben Beckman look. Who's supposed to be like the second, the right hand of probably the most powerful person in the world.
That's true. And I will further extend to the third most powerful crew member, Lucky Roo. I think they could have got a better actor for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going more in terms of looks.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah, I expect big. It's Lucky Roo, boy. You know, he's he's the boy, you know, and I didn't really get that vibe from him too much. He just kind of seemed just another guy eating, you know.
Yeah.
You don't really get like kind of the jolly Santa Claus kind of physique, you know.
Yeah. Maybe if they switched the actors, it would have been better. But the other thing that I had a complaint about was like Luffy when in the manga when he ate his devil fruit, he initially did it just because he was hungry, and it was out at the bar and he ate it. Like in this live action show, it seems like it almost called out to him, which like if they are like planting the seeds of like Nika, like the Nika fruit having a will of its own type of thing, it's interesting. But like he just finds it and he eats the whole thing, which devil fruits are supposed to taste terrible. And
right.
And he like took one bite of it in the manga, and he immediately like was like, that tastes terrible. I don't know, it seemed like a weird decision to do it like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the series has been pretty explicit that they taste like shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so do you have any more thing else to add for the flashback?
I mean, we're just going through the first episode right now, and I don't think there's any more of that flashback yet. But I did like the part where Nami stole the boat from the bandits. I really I like the actress that they chose for Nami too, Emily Rudd.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah. I enjoyed her performance as well. I will say one thing for Zoro. Again, I'm only on episode 3, but I think he is a tad too serious at times. He doesn't really have the jolly, you know, idiot demeanor as Zoro sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I'm remembering there's this one scene of in like Syrup Village where they were like the Usopp pirates came in and they're looking for Usopp and they say like, oh, where is he? And Zoro's like, oh, we ate him, and he just gives like this evil grin, and it's like I agree with you that he's too stoic, too serious, and I mean, he's good in terms of like the action and stuff, which is what I think they wanted him to be. But yeah,
no, because he's a lot more than that, you know.
Yeah,
like
well, maybe not post time skip.
This is coming from a Sanji fan, you know, like he had like a lot of really good comedic moments, you know, and everything. So I just don't know if the actor could pull it off. And again, I've only watched 3 episodes, so but I did like the Nami interaction with Luffy when they're like infiltrating Captain Axan Morgan's base, you know, and also I will say I was worried about the ambiance and the set. And is it going to feel like One Piece? There were a lot of moments where it did feel like One Piece, you know, and it did feel like a good world, and the sets were done well, you know? So I did like the immersion, the world immersion, like they did a great job with it. So I do want to give them credit for that. But yeah, no, it was just cool to see Nami and Luffy interact too. Yeah, I know it was like technically not canon, but it was cool. I thought they did a great job with it, you know?
Yeah, I liked Nami's whole thing of infiltrating the base, where she's looking in the bar for an officer with her size uniform that she can knock out.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
so I like I said, Emily Rudd, she did a great job with it. I liked the fight scene in the bar too with the Zoro and the Marines. I actually thought that was well done. And when they, you know, actually fight Axhead Morgan, again, they do a good job with characterization where he's like, you know, oh, I defeated all the Kuroa pirates and everything, you know, so they drop in some references. It seems organic, you know. And I did enjoy that fight too, especially the Zoro-Luffy combo. I thought they did a good job with it. And I thought they did a great job handling Kobe too, with his characterization being disenchanted with the Marines. And I especially like the send-off Luffy and Kobe had too. So I know Oda did work a little bit with the set, but it just really is interesting how much focus Kobe has gotten in this live action series, you know?
Yes. I don't think it's a spoiler because you're on episode 3, but the Garp and Kobe stuff in this live action series is probably my favorite addition to the story. It does seem kind of weird that that Garp is kind of introduced this early, but I like his actor. I like his actor. I think he really embodies the character well. And I like all his interactions with Kobe, and it shows how Kobe is growing as a Marine.
Agreed. Yeah. One thing I will gripe about with the Marines, there's no justice symbol on Garp's coat.
Oh, there isn't?
No.
Okay, I didn't really notice that much.
It's one of my favorite things about the Marines. It's the justice symbol. It's cool. But
that's the Japanese symbol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense why they don't have it.
But it's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. But those are kind of my initial thoughts for the first episode. Anything you want to add in right there?
So, hold on, let me see. Just skimming through the episode really quick. Oh, you had brought up Helmeppo before I cut you off about the flashback. I really liked his character too. I don't know if we needed this scene of him waltzing around his room naked with the sword, but I mean, fan service for everyone.
True.
But
well, they want to show how down bad he is now because he's going to be an admiral by the end, clashing Zoro.
It's true.
Hey, if that happens, you've heard it here first.
Yeah. I mean, it's not your most insane theory.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting a lot of focus too, which I love.
Yeah.
Because completely unironically, I think Kobe and Helmeppo are going to be monsters by the end of the series. So.
Yeah, but at the end of the episode, we get the tease of Buggy, and when I first saw it, I was kind of scared because I mean, the introduction seemed more like Joker-esque to me than what he actually turned out being. So yeah, I guess
it's so hard for people who play clowns not to imitate the Joker in some way, shape, or form in American culture. You know, it's just like acting, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's just so transformed that genre, you know?
Yeah.
It's impossible not to take cues.
Yeah, but I'm glad this will be a good segue into episode 2. I'm glad that they kind of made him his own character, true to the Buggy from the manga.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just like before they get to, you know, Buggy, I did enjoy the crew islands, you know, and everything. The crew interactions that Zoro, Luffy, and Nami had, and I thought that was actually really good. I did enjoy that a lot, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think they got all the interactions with the Straw Hats down very well. I don't think anyone feels out of character.
No.
Yeah, which, I mean, compared to other live action shows, like I know that was a big thing with like the Cowboy Bebop Netflix adaptation. That they just got characters wrong. And that's why that's not getting a second season, and this one might.
Right. And yeah, no. So that was a good point. But I did like how with Buggy's crew there was a lot of. I did enjoy the costumes they had. I thought that was really well done, and you know it was cool and slightly menacing to show them all those townspeople chained up and everything, and you see the town destroyed. And I know they couldn't add in everything, like with the little white dog defending the store and all that, and Richie the lion, you know, and everything, you know. So it sucks they couldn't include that. I understand why they didn't and everything. You know, they were trying to put it all in, trying to simplify the plot as much as possible, you know, while just kind of like spreading it all out with the buggy bombs and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like the reveal that the circus, like it was all the townspeople chained up. I thought that was done really well. Because in the original series, it's just kind of like Buggy takes over a little section of the town and he's blowing stuff up, but I didn't really feel like he was that big of a threat. He was more goofy.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I feel like in terms of all the different characters, I don't feel like there was a big difference, like power scaling wise, between all the stuff. Because especially like with episode 1, you had Luffy and Zoro teaming up against Morgan, and he was holding his own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So also I liked Buggy's nose little thing about that. The jokes about his nose.
And the townspeople freaked out and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Again, kind of going back, I like seeing Kobe become a cadet. And I like how they showed how Axan Morgan is a fraud. And how they're investigating, and how Garp's kind of the good Marine. He's trying to reform the Marines, you know. He's actually a good guy. He's not corrupt like Morgan and stuff, which is like a good positive mentor for Kobe because first he saw the bad side of the Marines, he used his enchantment, and now Garp's helping to restore faith in the Marines. So I did like that dynamic set up a bit.
Mm-hmm. One thing I am sad, we didn't get a buggy ball. So
yes.
The Muggy Ball in Impel Down will have much less impact. And
yes.
also, we'll get we won't be getting the saddest scene in the series where where Buggy asks Luffy if he remembers his famous Buggy Ball. And Luffy says no. And Buggy just deflates and frowns for the first time.
Yeah, and I felt like they could have added that in, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so needed, yeah, especially with their character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did enjoy Kabeji and Zoro and the tension there. And again, they're not like kind of like throwing it behind like Zoro was a bounty hunter, right? They keep on hitting that plot point over and over again, which I like. I think that's good characterization for Zoro, you know, that I kind of wish in the manga they emphasized more that he was a bounty hunter, you know.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then again, the fight with Buggy, really well done. Enjoyed the actor a lot. And I thought it was like a cool, well animated fight and everything. I didn't really think it looked particularly cheesy.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm surprised at how well all the special effects held up, from like Luffy's stretching to the horrifying Denden Mushis.
Yes, no, base Denden Mushis, dude. Those things are sick. I love them.
Yeah. I can't tell if they're like practical effects or CGI or like a blend of both.
Well, I love when Garp was feeding one. That was so cool.
Yeah. I also liked like Garp's whole interaction with Kobe. Like valuing Kobe's honesty above everything.
Yeah.
Which kind of hits harder after like the most recent thing that happened with Kobe.
Yes. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, which I think because of Oda's involvement, I think he's really hammering home like how important Kobe is to the series, which you've been saying.
Yes, and I won't include the clip, but the embarrassing L Jimper took with our top 30, thinking that Kobe wasn't top 30 material. This live action is another L for Jimper, to show his importance in the series, so take that. Well, like I said, going back, I had one little detail, but the ocean shot of them leaving the island where Buggy's at, I thought it was like really cool, and I like the effects. It was a very beautiful shot of the ocean and everything. So, and yeah, there was just kind of that little moment where Luffy runs up, he's like, "Oh, we don't need food," and then he runs up and just eats a little bit of it. I was like, yeah, that's his character.
Yeah.
So, so I'd say like again I would say it's like maybe a B plus for me for the first 2 episodes. If I were to like kind of rate them both, as one, that's kind of where I'd be at.
Yeah, I think that these first 2 episodes are a really good introduction to the series as a whole, like kind of what they're going for. But a couple things I just wanted to touch on before we end it. So, one of my favorite things was the seawater prison that Luffy was in, which I think makes more sense instead of like just a cage that he was put in the show. Because Buggy would know that, because he knows the weaknesses of devil fruits.
Yeah.
And he would maybe have something like this as like a circus act. But the other thing, what did you think of the whole Shanks and the Sea Beast thing?
Okay, wait, real quick. Yeah, so Lucky Roo, I thought they messed up the Lucky Roo scene where he shoots the bandit. It's like, oh, that's dirty. Well, that's what you're pirates, right? I thought they messed up on that. I think they could have made it a lot more pronounced and everything. So I think they could have made that a lot better, actually. Now the scene with Shanks, I thought it was good. The animation for the Sea Beast was good and everything. And I thought it was pretty emotional for the most part with a lot of that. They didn't really show as much the fear of the Sea Beast had as they did the anime, but that may have been like a lot more difficult to show in a live action.
So for me, it just seemed kind of weird because they're in a boat and Shanks is just looking at the beast the whole time, and he doesn't even think to activate his haki. Like, whereas in the original, like all interpretations of this scene, it seems to me like Shanks made it there at the last second and had to choose between losing his arm and saving Luffy.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It was just like that. I think it was just the pacing of the scene. Like if it was quicker, like Shanks showed up, like I think it would have been better if Shanks was like swimming. It showed Shanks swimming, like rescuing Luffy underwater while the Sea Beast is coming after him. I think it could have done better that way. But I mean, the thing is, it's just like little nitpicks like this, compared to like what the whole overall points of the show that are supposed to get across, which I think they do a good job of.
Right.
what I ultimately hope for this is that people see this and it's like, oh, I really like this show. I want to see more of it, so that they check out the actual anime or manga or whatever, because Netflix, at least in the US, also uploaded a bunch of like specials. They uploaded like episode of East Blue, episode of Skypiea, like
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think they added a couple more movies, like Film Gold, and
okay.
I think they already had Film Z on there, but so I think they're kind of banking on the success to have people check out One Piece as a whole.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
For sure. So any more closing thoughts?
No, I mean, my attitude pretty much stays the same throughout the whole rest of the show. So I'm excited for you to see the rest too.
And I am excited as well. So yeah, it's good. A lot of great stuff happening in the One Piece community right now with the live action and the anime and the manga. So it's great to hear. So, but anyways, thank you all for listening. Please like and subscribe if you have not, and we hope to get out more content for you soon. All right. So have a good one.
See ya.